Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, most people think that they're scot-free because the jury has acquitted them and found them not guilty, but that's not always the case, as you see from what I'm getting ready to break down. Now, let's get this party started. All right? All right, so you know what it is. Unique Mecca audio, man. You just saw from the last Diddy video that I posted how the jury could acquit you of a charge and the judge still used it against you. Now he's taking it to appeal. Now, a quick little breakdown on this, right? Most people think if a jury says not guilty, you're safe. That's not always true. And what you're about to hear is happening to thousands of people right now every day, and I left thousands behind. I'm going to give you a couple of them in a minute, but this is happening to thousands of people every day. Now, a lot of y'all came from my last video, right? The one breakdown of Sean Diddy Combs' appeal, but that case uh, isn't exceptional. It's just an example of what is going on every day. Now, let me tell you the shocking truth. In federal court, a jury can say not guilty, and a judge can still consider those same accusations, use them at sentencing, increase their punishment anyway. This is called acquitted conduct. Now, let me tell you a acquitted conduct story. All right. My man goes to trial and he has like 15 murders. He beats them. He gets found guilty on all of them. And then when it's time to get sentenced, even though he was acquitted of those, right? Even though he was acquitted of those, they still enhanced him and gave him a life sentence, and he beat the actual M charge. Could you even believe that? You stand trial, you beat 15 charges, and you still get sentenced anyway. That's what the Diddy trial is about. And that's how, regular people like us wind up getting proper law set when they go after the celebrities and those with the bag to fight them all the way and capable of getting the best legal minds like Diddy did. Just remember that. This is happening to thousands of people every day. They always use acquitted conduct, and that's what makes it so bad. Why most people never hear about this, right? It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't trend on social media, and most defendants aren't famous. Everyone is not a Diddy, you know? So these cases don't go viral. They don't get defended publicly, and they don't get explained like what I'm sitting here doing on Unique Mecca audio with this. But that's why I'm taking my time to explain this, right? Because I feel like give me another ride. It's early. Check it out. I got a homie that was hustling out of state, right? Went from New York out of state. He go down there, and this is one of the first fentanyl cases, right? I just keep it real. I know it's a little raw, but this is to let the youth know that it ain't worth it. Don't go down that path because you don't want to have to be going through what we sitting here going through now. So check it out, right? So the homie goes out of town. He takes some fentanyl. They tell him just put a 10 on it, and he said, "Man, that's too much because I normally only put a 3." So he puts a 3 on it anyway because that's what he normally uses. So now when he puts a 3 on it, he gives it out, the samples. 30 people OD'd. 30 people OD'd off those samples. After those 30 people OD'd, the brother goes to trial, and he's not even charged with these 30, bodies. He's not charged with it. But when he goes to trial, he blows trial to general conspiracy, saying that he was selling heroin. And then they turned around and they came back and they used those same counts that wasn't even in the indictment against him. And they sentenced him and enhanced him. Enhance means lift your sentence up higher than what it would normally be, right? They sentenced him to life in prison. It took him 25 years before a judge looked it over. Diddy's been in, got convicted and sentenced 90 days ago. And he's already in front of the appeals court where it took this man 25 years. And once the appeals court heard it, they released him. He's home. He's doing very good now. Round of applause to him. That's for changing his life. That's not for selling fentanyl, because I know how you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls try and move around, and I'm not having it, all right? But, that's how that one went, right? So now, who does this really affect, right, when they use the acquitted conduct, right? It affects everyday people, first-time defendants, people who trusted the jury system. They sit in court thinking, the jury cleared me, I'm good. Then sentencing comes and everything changes. And now the judge is using those very acts against you that you was acquitted of. How do they get away with that? Somebody put in the comments how you think they're allowed to do that. Why you think they're allowed to do that. Do you think that they should be allowed to do that or shouldn't be allowed to do that? Put it in the comments. We need to talk about this because this is happening every day to regular people, even people you know. Why legal experts, right, are alarmed? Why did these three judges get involved in picking up Diddy's case to file an amicus curiae brief? That's what it's called, an amicus curiae. That's when a lawyer or an attorney or someone with the court system feel that what's getting ready to happen at this ruling is going to affect the landscape of how that law or issue is going to be applied. So judges, prosecutors, and former prosecutors are warning, right, that this weakens jury trials if the judge could go back in and then say, nah, you was acquitted of it, but I'm going to still use it anyway. You see what they did in Diddy. You watched it unfold right in front of you. This shifts power away from the people, and you're supposed to be judged by 12 people in the jury of your peer. Now, this gives judges unchecked discretion. So if a judge could just sit there and enhance you for anything he want to enhance you for, stuff you're not even charged with, like my brother with the fentanyl that got his life together, right? And released after 25 years, So if the judge could do that, or for my other brother that, beat the 30 bodies, but then still wound up getting enhanced to life for the 30 bodies. But all they do is attach that with some form of conspiracy, and that's how they get away with that. Now, that's why experts stepped in on high-profile cases like this that could change the legal landscape of where we going with the justice system. Not to defend the celebrities. That's not why they stepped in. No one stepped in to help Diddy per se. They just stepped in to help justice and the people that don't have the voice in the bag like Diddy. Because this is going to change the way things work in the court now if they could use acquitted conduct, right? But to stop this from becoming a permanent law for them to be able to get away with that. Now, the big question, if a judge can overrule a jury's decision, right? That's the big question. Do you think that a judge should be allowed to overrule a jury's decision? What does not guilty really mean to you? Does not guilty mean that you free and you beat the charge, no jail time, no nothing? Or could they then enhance you and use the acquitted conduct? Now, this isn't about one case. This isn't about how justice actually works, right? Drop a comment. Should judges be allowed to punish people for charges jury rejected, or does that destroy the purpose of a jury? Y'all put it in the comments. Y'all let me know where you at with that, because all types of things I've seen happen. I've seen dudes. Okay, this the way. Let's ride, right? And we got to hit a gunshot. All right. So now we riding and we don't hit a gunshot. Now, I've seen a dude get caught for selling a $5 rock of cocaine, right? Crack cocaine. I seen him selling a $5 rock. And from that $5 rock, he gets locked up for making a sale, then he get locked up, and then now they get other people to come in there, and he just pled guilty or even went to trial. Now, he goes to trial for this $5 rock. Now, when he goes to trial for the $5 rock, they bring in all these other fiends that said that they, bought 50 rocks a day from him because they was an addict, and then they add up those 50 rocks that he wasn't charged with, wasn't caught with. All he was caught with was one $5 rock. And because someone came in and said they bought it 50 times from him, that's like, right, let me put it in a bigger scale so you understand. A dude could come in and get caught for selling a half a key of coke, right? Or selling 1 key of coke. Now I get caught for selling 1 key of coke, and they ask whoever he was selling it to, or let's say the undercover say that, he sold at least, he's been doing it for 12 months. So you go 1 time, 12 months. So now he got 12 keys. But he only got caught for selling 1 key. But that's how they enhance it. And these is all things that's crazy and don't make no sense. But that's the way the justice system works. And now there's a spotlight on it for you to see what's going on. Because could you imagine getting pulled over for a bag of weed in the car, and then now someone come down and say that you've been giving them 10 bags a day for 10 months, and now they say they charging you with X amount of pounds of weed, and all you got caught with was 1 bag. I know that sounds crazy. Put in the comments what you think it is, and I really want to know your opinion on it. Cheers, cheers, to the crime.
Of 26, eat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What mentions is a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in home. You cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you can go and visit. Then you can consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get juice from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention, what was stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your gram got along. A man that generated millions on the block. This time, never swilling to the cops make an audio.